Lynn, I want to start with you. Can you tell me just a little bit, first of all, about your background? I think you're a wellness coach. Can you tell us just a little bit about your background and why you were out there on a search looking for something like Redox?
Sure. Thank you, Alan. I'm really honored to be on the call to share this. My background out of college, I actually got into IT for a while and then wanted to stay at home with my daughters. I did some consulting, and then because of some back problems I had, I discovered yoga, and I actually got into teaching and training yoga teachers for a number of years, which I still do at a college in Maryland. And during the course of all of that, raised my daughters. They went off to college, and when Danielle graduated, she moved to Colorado to do Teach for America. And she had come home after her second year, was there for the summer, and in June of 2012 was hit by a drunk driver and suffered. We thought she was okay. She looked fine, which we found out later, but most people with a traumatic brain injury look fine. But over the course of weeks and months, instead of getting better, she was getting worse. And so for 2 years, we tried everything we could think of. Having the background in wellness that I had, I knew a lot of alternative practitioners. I knew Eastern medicine people. My dad was a physician, so we knew Western medicine people. We tried new things, old things, very innovative technologies. And at the end of a year, her neurologist basically told her that she had done all the healing that was going to happen, and just to get used to her normal, which there were so many things going on with her. She couldn't work. She was sleeping 20 hours a day. She had migraines constantly. A lot of times she couldn't have words. She had so much fatigue, mental and physical, that it was hard for her to get through a day. And so obviously as parents, I know you've got 2 young daughters, we were not about to accept that. And we just kept looking. And it was actually 2 years after her injury, a little more than 2 years, that a friend of mine who was an acupuncturist had come across this technology, and she said, "Have you ever heard of redox molecules?" And I hadn't. My dad hadn't. And she said, "I really think it can help Danielle." So I was really excited. I brought it home. I brought a bottle home, and I said, "Danielle, we found something. This might be what we've been looking for." And I'll never forget. She took the bottle, just like you showed it. I looked at it and said, "Mom, what does your friend think salt water is going to do for a brain injury?" Just like that.
Sorry, let me pass it on to Danielle at the minute. So Danielle, here you are, your mom's kitchen table, looking at a blue bottle.
Literally.
Ingredients, salt and water. Did you think your mother had lost it?
Oh, completely. So my background, I got my degree in biology, and my mom tried to explain what this was to me. I said, "Mom, you have no idea what you're talking about, and your friend is involved in a scam." And honestly, Alan, I did a quick Google search, and what popped up on Google was this website that said, saltwater scam, ASEA. And I said, "Told you." Did you look at this at all?
So you're sitting here looking at this and you say, "No, not taking it."
Oh,
so now, Lynn, your daughter's not going to drink it. That's why you got the product. So what are you going to do with the product?
Well, and to be honest, we had tried so many things. We weren't going to force it, right? But I had a significant challenge of my own at the time. I was bone on bone in all my fingers, serious discomfort. I couldn't make a fist, couldn't push covers off myself. And I had been to rheumatologists. They said basically pain management was the only option. And I didn't want to go that route yet. So I thought, I'll try it. What do I have to lose? I've got this product. And within 6 weeks, I could make a fist, and the discomfort wasn't all the way gone, but it was significant enough that my husband thought he should try it. He had had a knee surgery after college football and wore a brace whenever he ran or did yard work. Within 2 weeks, he was running without his brace, had the energy of a 30-year-old, and he wasn't. And that's when we sat Danielle down and said, "Danielle, this is what's happened to us. We really think you need to do this."
So Danielle, your mom's making fists. I mean, she's having these results. Your dad's out there like Superman. Now, surely you're going to drink the molecules.
No, I feel so bad saying this now, but I looked at them and I said, "Guys, it's a placebo." I said, "You're drinking salt water. You imagined it away. I'm glad it's working for you, but you're wasting your money." And they gave me they said, look, we've been looking into this more. This is legitimate. You know, there's research out there about it. Go to this website. It's called amazingmolecules.com. And I literally laughed out loud. I said, if it's a breakthrough and it's called Amazing Molecules, give me a break, Mom. That is the most ridiculous URL for a breakthrough technology. And I was with my boyfriend at the time. He was getting his PhD in biology. And he was with me when we were given that website. And he was like, I can't believe that we're even having this conversation, Danielle. This isn't anything. And my parents, though, they said, look, we're paying for it. We're buying it. What if we're right? Will you just agree to drink it for 6 months? And I said, sure, I'll drink it, but we won't change anything else. I will prove to you that this stuff doesn't work.
Oh, so you're going for the negative placebo. You're going to actually prove to them. So there's no way, there's no way your results can be placebo. I have to laugh, by the way, because of course, amazingmolecules.com is my website. I made up that URL. So I don't take it personally. I think it's really funny. But listen, so now you've got some product. You're going to prove them wrong. You're going to get them off your back. You got a super smart boyfriend. You've got a degree in biology. What happens?
Done deal. I start drinking it, and first month or two, nothing was happening, and I'm like, you're wasting your money. What are we doing here? And then it was around the third month, all of a sudden, I wasn't having to nap. I mean, I used to have to take a nap, a phone call, walking the dog, going to the grocery store. I napped for 2 to 3 hours afterwards, and my parents were looking at me going, Danielle, don't you need to lie down? I'm saying, no, I feel good. And all of a sudden, the pounding that had been in my head, Alan, you don't understand. My head had not stopped pounding since the day of my car accident. No relief. For over 2 years, it's stopped, and it hasn't come back now in 5 years. In 5 years now, you've been drinking the molecules. You've been drinking the amazing molecules. Indeed. And now I tell people all the time, you need to go look at it. It's amazing.
So you start noticing you don't need the naps, the pounding in the head that had been going on since the accident. It stopped. Anything else that you noticed?
Clarity. All of a sudden, I could get the word out. I could describe to you, where you park the car. It's outside. You can fit 2 of them in there, but I couldn't get garaged out. All of a sudden, I could get the words out that I wanted to say. And my cognitive therapist, who I'd been seeing this woman weekly for over a year at that point, she said to me, Danielle, in all of my years of working with patients that have your type of injury, I've never watched a recovery so rapid, so far out from the initial trauma. She said, what the hell is that stuff you started drinking? And I said, it's salt water. I said, I don't know. She goes,
go to Amazing Molecules.
Check it out for yourself. And that's when I actually started really looking at it. And that's when my boyfriend and I, we got on PubMed. We started actually researching it, Google Scholar, not Google, and opened my world to what was actually out there and what this was really doing, and that my experience wasn't unique and how profound this was.
Yeah. It's important to point out, we call the internet the bathroom wall of the world. Anybody can write anything up there. And Google is Google is a search engine. It's not a research engine. So Google Scholar or PubMed, you'd go in, type in redox signaling or redox signaling molecules. And it's a huge, huge area of science. And of course, with the bioagility stamp and the testing, look, this is verified as a redox signaling supplement. So, yeah, pretty cool. Any other final thoughts?
I'll add this one thing. My boyfriend then, we're no longer together. He and his mother still drink the ASEA because of what they've seen it do. And his PhD advisor, he brought me in to share with his advisor what this was when his advisor heard my story. And he looked at it and he said, Danielle, how in the world is this so cheap? With what they've been able to do, how are you telling me that I can get this for that amount every month? So it's profound, and it's blessed them, it's blessed me, and I'm loving watching it help a lot of other people.
Well, it's hard for me to imagine you as somebody who's stumbling for words, having to take naps. I've only known you post ASEA, and you're known as one of the best communicators in this company. You're an incredible speaker, incredible wisdom when you open your mouth, and it's always said in a beautiful way. And so it's very hard for me to kind of piece that together as the old Danielle, but so grateful to know the new Danielle. Lynn, thank you for your incredible perseverance and your thick skin. I guess being a parent, you develop a thick skin,
You do.
but you got to sometimes persevere. And I hope for those people listening, understand, guys, the world's full of skeptics. When we say this is a new category of science, this is a technology that is 10 to 15 years ahead of its time, we mean that. That's just not a marketing slogan. We are where vitamins were 100 years ago. We are where antioxidants were 40 years ago. go back to 1980 and imagine someone walking in and saying, hey, I've got an antioxidant supplement. And you probably had never heard of antioxidants. That's where we are with this category of redox signaling. Very, very exciting place to be. But it's all about the lives changed. Danielle, Lynn, thank you so much for sharing your stories. Appreciate you being here and having a bit of fun with us as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan.